right. Actually, let me just put if anyone wants to come on here, I'll put the link in the chat. So I kind of just had a quick thought, but I figured I'd open it up too if anyone else had some thoughts. There's been kind of a little bit of a stir as far as what it means that Dream On Me bought the leases, and like whether that means that that's the only thing left is that portion. And it's a good question. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Andrea and Mahir, Choppy Waters, sweet. So I think like one key element to remember is that Bye Bye Baby is currently the collateral for the DIP lender. So if they're not going to let go of it until at least all of the DIP loan is paid off. So to think that they're going to pay whatever, a couple $100,000 or whatever they paid for the 11 leases, that's going to cover the whole DIP loan, it's just not possible. So that alone kind of just nullifies the fact that that's just the end. That's what's left of Bed Bath and Beyond, like BBYQ, and it's just going to Dream On Me for literally pennies. Sixth Street would not, who's a DIP lender, would not let it go unless at least they were paid, let alone the bondholders, right? So they couldn't have a plan that involved not even paying off the DIP loan. It wouldn't make sense, and the judge wouldn't approve it. So there obviously has to be some other something deeper than that, right? And someone brought up that there's a co-signer, that on that lease agreement, Dream On Me had a co-signer, and then that opens up the door for RC or whoever else. Beating the Dow says they're getting paid from liquidating merchandise. Yeah, even if you liquidate the merchandise, how much did they have, right? They had 120 million before. I mean, that doesn't even adding up that with all the that is just it wouldn't even equal up with all the merchandise and all the leases sold, wouldn't equal up to just the DIP loan. So they wouldn't be letting go of it, and the judge wouldn't let them let go of it if just they were paid, right? That's not the point of a bankruptcy. So yeah. So I don't know if anyone else has any questions or any thoughts. I just wanted to point that out, that, obviously there's something, I mean, Ryan Cohen has the same lawyer as Pulte, who is an activist investor firm. And they know all the tricks. Like, they're inventing all the tricks. I'm sure there's new loopholes that they've discovered, and they have a plan. And so, I mean, we don't really have to be worried. We just have to use kind of common sense that it couldn't, yeah. So what's up? R1. Yeah, no, I was just planning on doing a short video, but I figured I'd just open it up for a stream. I actually missed the court hearing this morning, which is kind of a bummer. So I was hoping if someone wanted to get on and give me a recap, that'd be great. A.M.E. Lava. Yeah, so just that. I think that it's important there's just certain phases in this process when they probably want to have things on or off their books, and so it makes sense that they just have these placeholders. It just makes things easier. So everyone keeps the IPs, well, at least the Bed Bath and Beyond IP is clearly shared, so it's not sold, right? It's you could say it's leased out, and also none of those deals are official till October, right? So if you if you still have problems with the shared IP and whatnot, just watch the Ross Brown interview on the PP show from last week. He clearly says over. He says over. I thought Overstock. Well, I mean, I thought it could go either way. That either they were helping being the e-commerce solution, so that Bed Bath & Beyond could just focus on their in-store experience, which is what they're good at, but or that they were just a placeholder. And Ross Brown, said it's quite obvious that they're a placeholder. I mean, I guess we'll still see. I think both options are good, and I mean, I know that this isn't a small deal. Like, how many companies are out there have like several $billion worth of revenue? Right? There's not a lot. So it's not that they're just like, oh, this is worthless, just throw it away, right? And so there were 60 people, 60 entities that were making offers back in January. I'm sure they didn't all disappear. So yeah, they're not just going to wipe it out for 200 million. I mean, if you think about like it would be less than 200 million, right? That's less than the dip loan. So I don't know why. Like, think about how hard it is to build a company, right? Think about how many public companies don't even make actually any money, right? I mean, there's quite a few, right? You look at like, no offense, Nikola, right? For a long time, it was just totally a scam. Like, literally, they didn't have anything. It's just fake, right? So to actually have a company that actually has revenues, that's worth something. And they had 1,500 stores. That was way too many for our current economic situation. But it doesn't mean that the solution is to have zero stores. It wouldn't make sense that the world changed so much that it goes from 1,500 stores is profitable. Oh, now we can't handle a single store. So also, you think about what is Dream On Me going to do? This is like the other kind of, when we come in there, there's like a logic point where it has to be obvious. Just because Dream On Me bought the lease, does that mean that they automatically bought like the whole board? Did they buy Patty Woo? Like, can they buy Patty Woo just by buying the lease? She comes along with the lease. Is that how it works? No, that's not how it works, right? She's attached to the company, so they can't get the inventory, they can't get the employees, they can't get all of that unless they bought the company. So it's clearly a placeholder. And I mean, we've come this far. There's no need in just freaking out. I mean, it did make me think, right? I wasn't at all thinking about selling my shares, but I actually bought 5,000 more shares today. So I'll be leveling up on the PP show tonight. Let's see. XX also mentioned minor changes to plan that we heard tomorrow. Rob Man, the revenue they talked about getting from selling merch was just revenue, not profits. Yeah, I mean, also the reason it was that was in RC's letter, right? Was to scale. I think, well, actually, was that in the letter to scale down the footprint? But I mean, that's been the plan. Listen to Holly Etlin when she spoke on a panel. She says when the economy expands, your business should expand with it. When the economy contracts, it should contract. And you have to, with retail, you have to kind of try out a location. You can do as much research as you want to try and figure out whether a location is good. But at the end of the day, you just have to sometimes just put up shop. And if it doesn't work out, you just close down, and you have to be willing and have enough money to be able to do that. So this idea of opening up stores and closing out stores is just part of the retail process. I see Shill's hyping up tomorrow. Not sure we would see them file plan. Yeah, no, I mean, I think I mean, I think that the plan has been that they're going to open up the stores, August 1st. So, uh, I mean, I think that part of it will be announced. I don't know if like RC will come riding in, right? Either way, it works for me. I mean, I know that he's in the background, but I mean, my thesis is that they have to run the business with however many stores it is that they have, which those minor changes might. And I don't know. Maybe the thing is that they have some of the leases are. I mean, I think OK Bet and there's a few other people might be a little more qualified to say exactly uh, what the behind the scenes is, but I can imagine a lot of ways where there's leases that are just waiting around, and maybe after they prove how much money they can make in this 30 days, then they can then get back the leases. Or I mean, there was a stipulation in when they um, oh yeah, even for the Dream on Me and for Overstock, there was a stipulation of like if they paid the money, like how much when they if they change the situation and Bed Bath and Beyond decide not to go forward with Overstock or Dream on Me, like how much they would get paid, right? So it was like essentially as of right now, it's a loan. That's why Overstock isn't selling things under the Bed Bath and Beyond banner in the United States right now, right? It did in Canada, and so great, they got to show how much money they can make in Canada, and but they still didn't do it in the US because the deal is not necessarily official yet. So and it won't be for till I think October. But they might, for some of the leases, I mean, they might need to show financials, and so they might need the 30 days of showing what the stores can do to get those leases back, and then they would pay the people who bought the leases, you know, sort of extra, when they say, okay, never mind, but here's 5% or whatever extra that you paid for the lease. Thanks for holding it for us. Jeremy does have inventory, albeit not every single thing. Yeah, I don't think Drame could fill up a whole store, and they don't have the staff to do it either. So they would need the staff, and they can't have the staff unless they bought the company, and they can't buy the company because literally, Bye Bye Baby is the collateral for the dip lender. So they would have to at least pay off the dip lender, and so far the money that's come in isn't even close. So, but Michael, the verbiage for the Bed Bath IP was temp. I don't understand why people keep saying this. Overstock. No, I mean it. They're. I mean, I read through it. I mean, I'll read through it again. I'll do a Reddit post. Um, yeah, I'll have to look through it. I just got on because I saw that a lot of people were kind of stressed about it, and it's just there's a few logical things that make it impossible that literally that's all that's left of Bed Bath and Beyond is 11 leases that they're going to sell and get. I don't know what a total of an extra $1 million from those leases or less. I don't even know how much they paid, but it kind of the average for each lease was like less than $200,000. So uh, there's no way. There's just no way that the dip lender. I mean, the dip lender, look, they came in less than a year ago, right? Sixth Street came in less than a year ago when Bed Bath and Beyond was in a way worse situation, and now Bed Bath and Beyond is in a lot better situation because they got rid of so much debt, right? They had like $5 billion worth of debt. Now they have 1.8. They had all these toxic leases that they had to do something with, and all these severance pays to worry about, and now they don't. So I don't know why anyone would think that Sixth Street would be crazy enough to come in less than a year ago and then just okay, hopefully we'll almost get our money back. I mean, what was their plan? I mean, if you listen to any of the court hearings, like it's been going better than anyone anticipated. So um, I just don't I just don't know where all the FUD comes from. But maybe that's just me. Um, maybe I'm delusional. So I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. That was kind of all I came on to say. Figured I'd kind of we'll be talking more on the PP show. But unless someone wants to come on here, I'll probably just close out. LHL, well, sure, they have now way less debt, but how do they make any money now? Like, I mean, so there's something like a total addressable market, right? And there's like in the world of home goods, what percentage? I mean, we saw what the potential of Bed Bath and Beyond is, right? Overstock just in Canada made way more money than they anticipated. And when they announced that, they had a 20% run on their stock. So I I don't know why people. I mean, you know, Wayfair, right? Wayfair. I mean, they're not making money, but that's because I don't know. I don't think their business model works, but I think that yeah. I mean, Wayfair does $15 billion, I think, of revenue a year, and I mean, it had one year in 2020 where it made a lot of money. So uh, yeah, I like it's not that people are going to not do home goods, right? Like they're what is the competition for Bed Bath and Beyond? You can get some furniture at Walmart or Target. I mean, Target's a little bit better than Walmart. I mean, it looks a little bit better, but it's like the same kind of cheap stuff. So, they don't have it. They don't have, it's not, I mean, Bed Bath and Beyond does premier stuff. That's what they do. And there's a market for it. People want to go in and see it. And, you know, it's just, it's going to be a thing. It's not, anyone who doesn't understand that, I don't know why you're even involved in the stock. So let's see if anyone has any questions. Do you think the plan will be made public soon? I mean, in the Pulte interview, when I said what I thought the plan was, that they needed an evaluation because the way Bed Bath and Beyond is right now, it's never been that way before. So no one has. You can't put an evaluation number on it, like a real number, right? You could speculate, right? Like I'm speculating. I know it's not hard to speculate that it's not zero, obviously. But what the actual value is, you can't guess it. You don't know for sure. And so they have to open their doors as normal, business as normal. It doesn't mean they need like an infinite amount of stores to be able to prove this data. Who knows how many stores they're going to open with? Uh, could be 30, could be more, but they need a trial period to show what the business is going to do, even if it's just what baby's going to do, so that they can get an evaluation number. So the plan that's been the plan that's in the plan ever since, I think docket 729, or even before that. I don't know. I haven't read every single docket, but it seems pretty clear that that's been the plan since the beginning. And the plan's going to be accepted tomorrow, and they're going to have to open their doors, right? So people are going to see the open doors, and it's going to be on the news. I think there's going to be some price action to follow it. Yeah, so we'll see at that point what comes next. I don't know. It would have to be, but in my opinion, all the things that could happen after that are exciting. Malami Sherbert. Yeah, let's go. Dana, none of this makes sense right now. We are missing a critical piece of information. How this is all coming. So that's the thing. We don't actually have to know how it's coming together, because the people that are actually making it come together Like Ryan Cohen, like if you actually think about like if you were Ryan Cohen, like could it be any better, right? Like you're getting like he got rid of Mike Triton, he got rid of a bunch of debt, he got rid of a bunch of stores he didn't want, right? He didn't want it to be, I think the difference with GameStop, he's keeping open a lot of GameStop stores that aren't necessarily profitable, but I think that's because he's going to turn those into more of a, you know, like a local hub for, e-gaming tournaments that where it's like standardized and people can't cheat and whatnot. So I think that there's other things he has for the GameStops other than just selling whatever is this, So, but as far as a Bed Bath and Beyond and Bye Bye Baby, I don't think he wanted a ton of physical stores because he knows that e-commerce is so important, right? But any company, any e-commerce company is going to want flagship company or flagship stores to show off their products. So I guarantee he didn't want, at that point uh, when Ryan Cohen came in, they had like 950 or whatever stores, somewhere around there. I know he didn't want that. So, if you think about what he wanted to walk away with, was he willing to wait a year and a half? Yeah, of course. Like, who would have thought that it's like, oh, I want this and I want it now. Like, here's my money. Just like, give me your company. Like, no, that's not how it works. So, I mean, I trust that whatever his plan is a good plan, and we'll see it when the right time to reveal it is. I mean, even just the idea of like it being a bear trap, even like what ucopy says as far as Ryan Cohen knows if ucopy says if ucopy knows when the best time to have a bear trap is, that so does Ryan Cohen. And I believe that, right? And especially because in the letter to the board, that was one of the assets that Ryan Cohen listed as an asset to Bed Bath was its short interest. So do you think he's going to want to like reveal his position and say like, oh, actually this is like, he doesn't want the shorts to cover until it's too late. But we've gotten a lot of breadcrumbs because he wants people to know that he's still in it, right? And that we can be rewarded for seeing his vision, But like just seeing his vision doesn't just mean anyway, you have to actually put the pieces together, and thinking that like the dip lender can't even be paid off and that they're just gonna that you actually have to apply some logic and some knowledge. So LHL, I sincerely hope you are correct. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm all in. I'm like all in. So I bought like 5,000. Let's see, I bought, how much was that? Almost 18,000 shares last week and another 5,000 shares today. So yeah, and that was, let's see. AC John. Yeah. The price isn't doing jack. Yeah. I mean, it's, but I mean, that could be just, I don't know. I mean, things, yeah, I'm not too worried about the price today. I think when they announce that the doors are going to open for the stores on tomorrow, that I don't know, we'll start seeing price action then. I figured today, just from what we saw from Patty Wu and some of their stuff, I figured that was going to give it somewhat of a bump. But I guess also then at the same time as that exciting news, then the FUD comes out as like, oh, well, that's actually bad news, because that just means that was all that was left of Bed Bath and Beyond, and it's like they literally, she couldn't work for Dream on Me because they didn't buy her, they bought the lease, and they have the website domain, right? I mean, I think it even said that one part that was for sure not part of the IP was business dress. Like, so they couldn't even have the same clothes that they wear. Are the 12 leases in the big retail markets and high traffic retail centers, or do we know where they're located? I haven't actually looked into that. Kind of like part of me sees like okay bet. He had a Twitter space that was really good recently, and like um, I don't know, like he's like, I know what's going on in the background. I don't even really care like what happens with the store locations or whatever. So um, at this point, I don't see a lot of value in putting a lot of time into trying to guess exactly what's going to happen because I know all the options are good options. So, I mean, it like all the bondholders wouldn't have let this happen if they knew that what was going to happen is they were going to get nothing, right? They would have made sure they got something, and so let's see. Well, so let's see. Rob Mann said Overstock CEO says they're launching Bed Bath Online late July, early August. Well, it is late July, so but I think that's because there's certain like in the timeline of things, it's not a matter of days for the court. It's a matter of things that the court signs that are key things. And one of those key things that was really pivotal to this whole thing was the de minimis claims, right? De minimis means that it gives the debtor the ability to say what's relevant and what's not to bankruptcy. Basically, it makes them the judge. So that means that all possible claims that could have held them back are just cut because they can just say, "Hey, that's not really part of this." So I think that I mean it was a possibility, right? Like I think it was a genuine possibility that the judge would have said, "No, I'm not going to grant de minimis claim like status," and then that would have thrown a wrench in the whole thing, right? And so Overstock would be like, okay, we're willing to actually take this on and do this, right? But the fact that they have the same timeline and they haven't done it already, even though they said late July was the timeline, that it shows that this was the plan because they knew that they'd find out things in late July. So I mean, like, just think about it, like I don't know, like, I think people's, like, FUD, how they're saying, like, the whole thing went down just sounds stupid. Not just like, would the best law firm, like, one of the best law firms in the world, would one of the biggest capital management, entities, would, like, all these people, like, just, "Oh, whoops, we all messed up and none of us got money," like, "Man, that sucks." No, like, it just obviously they're doing things and obviously they're not going to show their cards, right? Like it wouldn't make sense to show the whole world their cards because there's someone else that would try to mess that up. So, um, let's see. Yeah, no, I was just bringing it. I can't write trade dress. Great, whatever it means. I don't even care. I'm just saying that it's like they can't just put up the Dream of Me doesn't have the staff. They don't have the money to run a store. Period. Like I don't know, and like they can't get the staff unless they paid off the dip lender. So, I mean, it's just kind of simple logic. I was just saying there's parts of it, whether it's how they present it, whatever, that they can't do. I I'm not a retail executive. I don't, but I do have logic. So, um, oh, Dana says she's in um, IP valuation and monetization. Well, if you want to come on and talk, that I'm down. I mean, do you think Bed Bath's worth 15 million? Is that what its IP is worth? I mean, I think I didn't actually look at the numbers, but I mean, I'm sure Overstock made more than 15 million already. So, um, uh, yeah, Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I feel zen, um, and if you don't feel zen, I mean, I don't know. So I'm sorry. I guess, do whatever you want with your shares if you have them. Okay, just work. All right. Well, I was planning on coming. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Come on the PP show. That'd be great. And she's zen. All right. So we have someone who's actually an expert in their zen. So I was just here to point out, um, the logic, right? That you know that Bye Bye Baby is the collateral for the dip loan, and they couldn't have sold it. They couldn't like uh, Patty Woo couldn't be working for Dream on Me, right? Uh, there's more to it. It's just a placeholder. So yeah, licensing. Yeah, and that's the thing. I that was kind of my overstock thesis was um, that there would be someone handling the e-commerce solution because like the economy of scale, the bigger you know your venture is, like the easier it is to to not have like gaps in efficiency. And if you're transporting stuff, you want to have a full truck, not half a truck or whatever. So my guess was that they were just going to have a kind of a partnership with Overstock, and that they were just going to be running the flagship store experience, and that they would both benefit, that Overstock would have a place where people could return their items, or a place to buy online, pick up in store, and then they would share the revenue from that. I know ABC was mentioning there was a stipulate, like they were talking about shared revenue. So I think there's lots of ways that this could go down, all of which, in my opinion, are good. Um, so let's see. There's Sears consultants on the board. Interesting. Are you going to be a Buffalo Bill kind of vibe here with a whole white background? Buys more or gets the hose again? Yeah, I actually had a white background for another project I was doing. I just didn't change it because I just started streaming. New PitchBook data. I did see someone mention that actually. What was the new PitchBook data? What did that say? On PP sub? Okay. Oh, fine. I'll pull it out. Let's see. Let's see. PitchBook status acquired, merged. Previous status was January 2023. Hmm. Part of me wants to say, "Oh, well, PitchBook means nothing," just so I can get Salvatore to come on here. uh, no, that's legit. But I mean, we all kind of know that it's coming, right? So I mean, it's happening. It's happening. I'm not worried. If you're worried, I'm sorry. I mean, sorry this play wasn't for you. Um, someone doubled their salary, $0. Didn't Pulte say that RC likes the Dream.me founder? He can imagine working with him. Really unsure who said that, but there was something. Yeah, someone did a post. They were connecting a lot of things. I mean, I think just even sticking to just the obvious, right? I mean, there's something happening, right? It's not worth zero. You know, they if you were Sixth Street, that's what you do is investing, right? They're probably one of the best people to know how to evaluate a company. There's no way that they would go into a situation thinking like, this company might is probably worth about 300 million. Let's put in $300 million, right? So, and it's like, oh shoot, we were wrong. It was worth, half that. Like, it just sounds ridiculous. But yeah. Imagine. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Uh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure PitchBook is accurate. I mean, Patty, we were talking about the celebration, right? What would the celebration have to be like? Like, Dream on Me doesn't even make enough money to hire, the whole pirate crew, right? Of Patty Woo, right? So like, so there'd have to be someone else involved, but like I said, they didn't buy her or any of their employees. They just bought the lease, and then they have the intellectual, like the trademark and the website, right? Um, so they couldn't run. In fact, I don't even know if they could run a competitor. Well, no, I see. Wouldn't be a competitor. I mean, they just didn't buy her. Um, so it obviously has to be a placeholder. Um, Input noise. It said this earlier this year. Yeah, that's because it's been the plan for a while, and that, I mean, there was delays, and who knows what all happened on the board as far as people digging in their heels and whatnot. So Dustin Ehrman, docket 1682 is up. Monthly fee statement reviewed and analyzed overstock bid documents and conferred and correspond to the same. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of ways that this could go down. I mean, it's like, let's say, wow, that's actually kind of interesting. Like, if Overstock bought Bed Bath and Beyond and then carved out Bye Bye Baby for RC, that would be pretty spicy, actually. Yeah, you know what? I think you might be onto something, Dustin. So that'd be cool. I'm definitely down for that. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think that there's a lot of people involved. This isn't just RC. There's like a lot of people that are, um, are trying to squeeze the shorts. Um, watched a snippet of an interview with Jim Cramer, and he's talking about Citadel, and he's like, "Yeah, everyone's scared of Citadel." So it's like, you know, wouldn't it be kind of obvious that all the companies that have been seller box would just like join forces? I mean, that would be hilarious if Overstock, like, let's say Carl Icahn, gave the funds or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how that all work, but I mean, but yeah, if Overstock bought Bed Bath and Beyond and then carved out Baby, that'd be legit. Yeah, no, I mean, that's why, like, I mean, it is kind of, Overstock doesn't have that much money, so there'd have to be something else, coming, like, that would be happening. But also in the filings and the dockets, it says that like the process to carve out baby had already happened. So it during this time they had been carving out baby. So it might literally be that at the same time as RC buys, maybe the carve out goes one way, to RC, and then actual Bed Bath and Beyond goes to Overstock. I mean, that would that would that would make sense. So, I mean, whatever it is, I mean, they've been planning it out for a while. This isn't like a just a off the cuff idea. It's, I mean, what I like, yeah. This makes me wonder you have Snort Wasabi. This makes me wonder the status on FINRA now too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows. I mean, like the way Bob Ross. I mean, that was a solid interview. The way Bob Ross was, Bob Ross, Ross Brown was talking about it. He's like, yeah, a lot of people are talking about this. A lot of people secretly hold Bed Bath, and they're waiting for this big, you know, thing to happen. So we have no, or wait, let's see, Frank C. Well, yeah, money's backing them, and what, and that's why it was approved after the initial rejection. No says, do you think there is a foreseeable instance where Overstock, Dream on Me are acquired and BBY holders are left with nothing? I don't. I mean, the fact that, and a lot, I had someone trolling me yesterday when I was streaming about like whether the short interest was still high, and it's like because like, oh, it got diluted so much, and it's like, yeah, and then the short and like more there was more shared borrowed shares out. So the short interest is still an asset, right? And that, I mean, there's over 100 million shorted shares out there. That's still a lot, right? So, uh, Dustin Ehrman, Bob Ross, happy little merger. Yeah, yeah, maybe that's why my brain put that together. That's funny. Yeah, I don't think there's a chance we're getting left with nothing. I mean, one, you got the nulls out, and you have the short interest, and whoever's acquiring it wants those things. Um, so Frank says not like we can get shares of Dream on Me as equity in the deal. Um, hmm. I mean, if it is that, so in order for Patty Wu to work for Dream on Me, right, with those 11 store locations, right, they would have to buy Bed Bath and Beyond, which is possible, right? Like Ryan Cohen could, through Dream on Me, decide to, buy Baby, right? Um, yeah, that's totally possible. Then that would actually potentially, even if it was a carve out, then that would make Dream on Me be a public company. So I don't know. I mean, there's lots of ways I could go, but it makes sense that you have American. So it's Gmerica, right? So you have American manufacturing company. Like obviously, he wants Ryan Cohen wants them part of Teddy. So it just makes sense. Also, I mean, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, Dana says there is there is a risk we could. Yeah, I mean, okay, so there's always a chance. Um, that's true, and that is why we're at 30 cents. um, but I think it's not a very probable risk. So thanks for the correction. snortwasabi.aspx is the tail end of the URL. See the list. Oh, having issues sharing the link. Let's see. Snort Wasabi, if you want to just come on, like, you don't have to come on the stream if you don't want, but I think there's a, you know how the private chat works, I guess. I haven't done much streaming. But if you just wanted to come on, I don't have to pull you on. You could just put it in the private chat, and then I could get the link. Issue of pending suspension or delisting under NASDAQ website. Galinas, yeah. So I mean, if you look at some of my other videos, I have one on early memories. So I actually have lots. I actually had a YouTuber friend come on, and I asked her oldest memories, but I have other ones that explain what the oldest memories mean. So yeah, I plan on doing that a lot more. Just currently I don't know, the whole Bed Bath thing kind of consumed me. Oh, okay. So we got a comment. Let's see. Issues pending suspension or delisting. Let's see. Oh, so I mean, so to answer the question, that we're not, like, we already got delisted from the Nasdaq, so that's why it's no longer pending. But yeah, so I mean, just that. I think that the plan comes out, say that Bed Bath gets above $1. I think they could be relisted. I think that's very probable in the near future. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Snore was no. I mean, it's all the pieces of the puzzle. I mean, it's a piece of the puzzle that, there is a process that. I mean, people didn't understand. They're freaking out about, getting delisted, and it's like, well, we already were delisted. It was just a matter of, I think there's a time frame where they can easily, if they could just fix what it was that was holding them back, they just instantly go back onto the Nasdaq. And so there's like a longer process that they have to go through if that if they get to that time period where they didn't fix it within that time period. But my guess is that they had a court hearing like right before that, and I think that they submitted the plan, the restructuring plan, like coincidentally right before that deadline. And so my guess is that they also might have filed something with like a time extension to extend that or something. I don't know what they would do, but I do think they will be back on the Nasdaq pretty soon. Yeah, thanks for Glenis. Yeah, I'm really excited about. Actually, I have a video. The reason my background is why is I was doing a video about the app I made. So there's going to be a lot of that. Oh, now I see what you mean, Snort Wasabi. You're saying whether that was a confirmation that had been acquired, because that's what the status was. You might be right. So yeah, that seems that is actually pretty cool. I wasn't following that, so I didn't know exactly when that came off. that list, but that could actually be cool. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, it's yeah, sorry. Sorry. I'm not like I have holes in my financial knowledge base. I mean, that's why I like having everyone here to help out. We got Iggy. Hello, Michael. Ask yourself one: why Wall Street is still holding shares of Chapter 11 company um, beyond lending revenues. Two, what product lines are included in the IP auctions? How might that affect a Chapter 11 exit with a null advantage, going concern, awfully poetic capitalization, R&D used to kill profitability in a thinly formulated commerce strategy? Yeah, I'm a little my mind. I'll think about that. I'll bring it up on the PB show. um, Rob Man doesn't like PitchBook. I mean, that doesn't think. Yeah, I mean, that's not where I'm putting my faith, but like, I mean, the fact that it lines up with what I think seems to be going on seems more than coincidental. Um, Ligma, BBYQ to 0. Um, hmm. No, dude, Ligma, you're not wrong. I also still like jet lag, so well, I mean, I didn't come on here to make this like a long video. I just actually just wanted to point out the one kind of simple thing. Well, two simple things, but um, yeah. So that was so Snow Wasabi. That was the whole reason I came on. I was actually just going to make a short video, like literally like a 1 minute video. That Patty Wu says that someone asked her what dream or what Bye Bye Baby 2.0 was. She said, you know, she directed them towards an article that said that Dream on Me bought 11 of the leases. But the thing is they bought the leases, they didn't buy her. So and they I mean they didn't buy like that they couldn't not like they couldn't buy her if because the whole company, right, except for the IP, is held as collateral, right? So no one they can't be putting up a store that's Bye Bye Baby because that portion is held as collateral by the dip lender, right? So and they're not going to just part with that until they get paid for it, and they're nowhere near being paid for it. So obviously she was just stating the only thing that she could state legally, which is that there is a connection between the leases and um, and Bye Bye Baby 2.0. She was not saying that she's working for Dream on Me, right? So yeah, that's actually the whole thing I meant. Blair Barkley. No, I don't have. I haven't made any animations yet, actually. This channel is just gearing up for, once this starts squeezing, we're going to be doing a 24-hour PP show. So I figured I'd get on and, well, that, and I think, I write Reddit posts too, but some people don't. I don't know. It's just, I guess, easier to video. Plus, then you have people in the chat and Kitchen Life. Hi. But who knows? Maybe I'll see if I can put together some animations, because I think it's going to be big. I think that if they open up their doors tomorrow, I mean, news is going to come out and it's going to be huge, right? It's like, oh, holy crap, and I don't know when Ryan Cohen comes into the scene, but I know that he'll be, that even just the doors opening up, they're like, oh, it's not just going away. It's like still like Holly Etlin said, it's still a publicly traded stock, right? So, yeah, I think we're going to get, the price is going to run on tomorrow, and like how much, I don't know, but we might have to wait a whole month then to find out that RC is actually carving out baby. But I mean, that's fine in my opinion. So yeah, and Patty, what Ligma said, Patty on board is bullish. Patty is legit, like that. Like, I mean, I think that's like a huge asset that RC would see, is that he could want Bye Baby, and that he already has someone that like he knows is gonna, man the ship, right? So, because he doesn't want to have to worry about it, right? So, yeah. Yeah, no, Ligman's right. Dream of Me could not afford Patty Wu, right? Like, think about, like, what was there, like, they made like $24 million, right? So if they're going to pay her to run it, well, they're going to pay her $1 million, you know? Yeah, they couldn't afford her and her team, right? Because then she would need a team and employees, right? That'd be the whole. But even that, right? So let's say that Dream on Me is like, you know what? I'm going to do this. We're going to go all in. We got $24 million left over how much they have on board. Why would they see value in a whole team that apparently is a bankrupt company, right? That'd be stupid. So, so yeah, kind of either way you look at it, whether it still proves that there's a lot of value here, but it's value that can't be unlocked until the dip lender is paid off, and they're nowhere near being paid off. So, yeah. Ligma says they're not opening up doors. Saying, I don't know. I mean, that was that was their plan. So I mean, who knows whether they wait? It's Wednesday. I don't know, but I mean, we'll find out tomorrow what the exact plan is. But they can't just, like, they're not just gonna sit on their hands and do nothing, right? Like, they didn't rush through the bankruptcy just to like walk away, right? Like, what did they rush through? Well, they didn't want to run out of cash, and they wanted to be able to keep things going. Like, when I went to Bye Baby recently, they said, all we know is we're here till the end of the month. Okay. And the Bye Baby I went to is right next to a Bed Bath & Beyond, and the Bed Bath & Beyond was selling all the shelves, but the Bye Baby wasn't. And then in the lease sale, actually, the lease for Bye Baby was sold, but the lease for for Bed Bath & Beyond wasn't sold. And so my guess is that they're going to clear it all out, clean it all up, move over the new shelves over to the other building, which is right next door, for whatever reason. I don't know. But just the fact that they weren't selling the shelves of the Bye Baby was quite interesting to me. Yeah. Julio up. Yeah, it would be nice, but if someone worked at the stores, they could tell us. I don't know if they can legally, because if there was someone who knew, they'd probably be under an NDA. Beating the brow. If you just, I mean, just look through all the dockets where it said what the lawyers were being paid for, and there was quite a few of them that were like, finalizing the carve out, all the things related to the carve out. So, I mean, and the IPs that's not finalized. I mean, why isn't there buybybaby.com that Dream.me is running right now? Then, if they bought it, why aren't they using it? Um, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, they just lost out on a whole month worth of revenue, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that there's a secret thing, Jerry, about RC. I'm saying that there's like a process, and so it's like, hey, this is my plan, is to do A. If A doesn't work, I would do B, but B is not my plan. That's not my intention, right? Like, I mean, if I'm sure RC, but like, I mean, if I was a CEO and RC came into my company and was like, look, I want to take this thing over and fix it up, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I don't know. So I'm sure there was a chance that they would have been like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do what you said. They didn't, right? So that was his plan. So it was not his plan to go through all of this. That doesn't make any sense, right? Um, because you're right, that would be illegal. And then so he's like, all right, my plan is this. And then there's multiple plans, and him knowing what multiple plans would be doesn't mean that he wasn't really trying to make plan A work. Because he said what it's worth, and I mean, I think he totally would have done it. Jerry, is he making up plans right now? Well, I mean, like the thing is that there's like for example, in medicine, right? You have a differential diagnosis. So someone comes in with a cough, you list all the things it could be, and then you have to at least pick a first thing to investigate, right? And then you're going to do a test, right? So there's going to be one test that's at least first. And once that's either confirmed or denied, then you move to the next one. And so I'm sure he knows what all of the ways forward are. I mean, right? He's part of a firm. He that or he um, he like he hired a firm that's what they do is activist investing, right? So I'm sure they say these are all the ways to do it, and it's like, okay, option A is this. Let's try it. Option A did not work. All right, what's option B? Option B is this. So I mean, I'm sure he went in knowing that there's option A through Z, and he's willing to exhaust all of them. But it's not like, oh, option Z is that like I get to buy it at a much cheaper price, and I want that one to happen, right? No, like he started with option A, and that was his plan. So there's not any that's not messed up. It's not illegal. And it's just like the Kirkland Ellis thing. I mean, I could bring up actually, I will. I haven't updated this, but I mean, a roadmap would look something like this, right? Like there's certain steps that have to happen for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, like the steps are set in stone, right? There's not like option A, option B, right? Like, so I'm sure there's a map like this, but it like has split points, where it's like, well, I mean, actually, even here it does. So you have the option where it goes up to out of court restructuring, Chapter 11 proceedings, Chapter 11 liquidation, right? So, you have option A, option B, option C, right? So that is how it works, right? And yeah, out of court restructuring would have been great. They tried that, right? But it didn't work. So they went with option B, and B worked. So they didn't have to go to option C. So all the people, like, this is actually from Kirkland and Ellis, well, at least one of the lawyers from Kirkland and Ellis made this. All the other ones have a timeline as far as like when, it's like, 18 months and, whatnot. But Kirkland and Ellis is like, no, we just have a checklist and we get through that really fast. And so yeah, let's see. Loopness monster. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of the same way. I was always kept my base thesis is just that it was a turnaround. But then after after Pulte came on, like I was like, all right, yeah. I mean, it seems like RC's there's a very good chance he's involved. So, I mean, like what would Pulte have to gain from like lying, saying like, oh, RC's active in this situation? I mean, he obviously doesn't have a big enough position where he'd have to file about it, I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. But even if he did, like, really, like, is it that he bought in at 7 cents and just wants to try and get this to 30 cents to sell? I mean, that would be quite a big profit if you had a huge position. But yeah, I don't think that's the case. It's in an article called, actually, what was, but it was his plan. Let's see. Unless I'm missing. It's from the Kirkland Playbook. It's in an article called Debt and the New Equity from, well, I'll just take a screenshot. I'll have to look that up so I can bring it up on the PP show. Maybe. Let's see. So watching your Sunday stream, Man's Marathon. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't planning on going that long. Actually, this one I was literally going to get on for just a few minutes, and then now look what happened. So, yeah. Yeah. Step he's taken there in hindsight. It's nice to know. It's always a plan, but would have been impossible to see as it's going on. Yeah. I mean, I think it is kind of, yeah. I mean, it seems obvious that there is always a plan A, plan B, and he wouldn't have like started investing so much if it's like, okay, well, here's plan A and there's no plan B, or here, like, I've only got two shots, plan A, plan B. It's like, no, there's like, it's a hard thing, and but there is a playbook, and yeah, I think it's going to totally pay off for him. So he's listed as an active creditor. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I Snurgle, so I think, same. I mean, I think, uh, for me, I just, similar to, Luminous Monster, like, I definitely saw a clear way forward without RC, and I just for me, I saw value in explaining that just because, like, it seemed like a long shot, like, "Oh, yes, the coolest, activist investor is part of this play," and then it was like, it just obviously, that was the best choice, what I would want the most, but it didn't mean there wasn't, like, tremendous value even if he wasn't there, you know? So, yeah, Jerry, I'm not really sure, I mean, with 1.8 billion in debt and more than that in Knowles, um, I mean, and just that it's like it's a vehicle to sell a lot of things. There isn't any real competitor to Bed Bath and Beyond. There just isn't. So, people like Newell that sell things through Bed Bath and Beyond. There's a lot of people that don't want Bed Bath and Beyond to go away. I mean, even Mattel was, talked about how much money they lost when Toys R Us um, went into bankruptcy. So, and I don't think there is a secret deal. There's just option A, option B, and yeah. So yeah, and like Snarl Wasabi said, like every step was approved by the judge, so that makes it legal. And the judge is not dumb. It's not like he's some kind of rookie. He's been around the around for a while. He knows. You know. And Jerry, I'm happy you own GME shares. I think that you're going to be in a good spot. Um, so um, Blair Barkley, Knowles erase a multitude of sin. That's funny. It's hilarious. I see where you're going with that. Dustin, Michael, you've made it when you have your own regular shills. Yeah, no, and I yeah. I mean, if you actually watch the live stream from yesterday, I mean, I had shills that were there for 6.5 hours. I'm like, man, mad respect. Like, you must be really bored or something because, like, if you're not interested in this to like stick around, I mean, yeah, I guess if it's like evangelizing or something, it's like if you feel that God called you to save the the lost Bed Bath and Beyond souls, more power to you. Let's see, is this talk about the stuff they found from 2009 in the space yesterday? I don't know. Actually, wasn't uh was I in space yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago, I guess, when um yeah, if anyone wants to come on, dude, it's funny that we're all so degenerate that we literally can't do we just all day, every day, we're like, yes, Bed Bath and Beyond. Oh man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is from so someone mentioned the 2009 plan. This is just a chapter 11 plan I found. And right, so I mean, I made this for the video I did a little while ago. but like exit implementation, right? That's one of the last things, right? So that's what happens tomorrow, right? So we have implementation, and then I don't know how many days, right? I don't know what that means. Where exit from Chapter 11, might be the September. But they finished the claims resolution. And then now they just have to implement it. So that's why I've been looking forward to August 1st is this roadmap and the dockets that kind of suggested what the plan was, what the implementation of the restructuring is. Right. So if this wasn't, look, if they're not going to open up the doors, this would not be a Chapter 11. They would have shifted it to Chapter 7. So, and why would the judge be like, oh, we're successfully going through this whole thing really fast, and there's like literally one step left, and it's like, oh, we failed. Like, I guess we'll just throw it all away. No, like obviously they have to implement the restructuring plan, which is like running the business, back to business as normal. I mean, whether they legit open up their doors tomorrow or whether they just get permission to open up the doors, I don't know. We'll have to find out. But either way, it's. I mean, is it like lots of companies have implemented the restructuring, and then it didn't work, and then they went into Chapter 7? Sure, that is a possibility, but it's they have to at least implement the plan, right? Unless there's some huge problem barring it. I mean, and if there was, I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's just it's. I agree. Altruistic beyond. Chupa mis huevos. That's funny. So Tom Candy, yeah, they didn't get rid of their warehouses. They still have those. So, and I mean, obviously they still have a staff. I mean, Patty Wu was saying her and her smaller team, right? I mean, she used to have a team that was huge, right? It was all of how many, over 100 stores, right? So if now they're going to operate 30 stores or whatever, or 40 stores somewhere, I don't know how many they're going to do. Um, you know, she says they still have a smaller team, so it's not that they. And plus, like anytime like a business is being acquired, like they don't usually keep all the employees. Like it's a good time to go through and kind of purge the company of anyone who's not working hard, right? Anyone who's not making the company better. So, I mean, plus there's just certain positions that they want their own people in for sure, no matter no matter what, like the CFO and all that. So, Eric, thanks for streaming. Yeah, thank you. Over almost an hour and a half into the 1 minute video I was going to do. So, Jerry Diamond is Moran's. So obvious. That's funny. Paul Forcell, Jay Diamond is Glenn's pool boy. Yeah, Snort Wasabi makes a good point. Kevin Malone on the PV show, I mean, he came on twice, but it was the first time he came on that he kind of outlines the roadmap, how he thinks RC did what he's doing. So, Oh, looks like we do. Eric is bring you on. Hey, what's up, man? You there? Oops. A mic check. I can't hear you. I'll just keep reading through the comments while I figure that out. My chat's really delayed. Huh. Interesting. Actually, I wonder why that is. Maybe we should. I think you have to accept permissions, Eric. I don't know if you're using a phone or a computer. It'll usually pop up and it'll ask you to use your microphone and your camera. Oh, well, the delay in the chat is just also, it's just hard for me to read that fast. So, um, yeah, I'm the one who's delayed, as I'm sure you know, right? Uh, that's why having other people on here makes it easier to be able to look at the chat. Um, let's see, Eric, you figured it out yet, or? Oh, okay. I'll just come back on when you're. Usually, when you join, it'll. Oops. EB with $6 just came in late. But here are 20 barbecue shares. Yeah, no, heck yeah. Thanks, man. I just bought 5,000 more shares today. So, um, Blair Barkley, do I have a background effect? All right. Let's see if I have a special guest that wants to join the show. Um, everyone say, well, say hello to ABC. uh, no, he got married this weekend, so he's still on his honeymoon. But figured I'd bring him on the show since chat wanted him. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, it's funny. EB, so you want to pump the show? Yeah, no, I mean, it's. I just came on here. I mean, since you just got here, the main thing was I just saw there was lots of people kind of freaking out about the whole lease thing from Dream on Me, and because the news from Patty Wu was so exciting that the FUD had to be equally as as depressing, and so. But the FUD doesn't make sense just because they can't. Bye Bye Baby is the collateral for the dip lender. So they're not going to sell Bye Bye Baby or its employees, everything, um, until they get the dip paid for. So it's just not possible. And yeah, so what they're like, why they have the leases and all that, and how that works out, I don't know, but they can't be buying. It's the thesis that that's all that was left was 11 leases, and Dream On Me is just going to put some of their own stuff in there. They don't have enough for a whole store, and they don't have employees to run it, and they can't get the employees to run it without buying Bed Bath and Beyond. So yeah, that's just the situation. And yeah, so Ping Pang says have to wait 3 more days for it to clear. It's so annoying how long it takes to clear. Like, I mean, I guess I should just wait because I like wire transferred 3 separate times, which is $25 a pop. But for me, I wanted to make sure I got everything in before tomorrow. I don't know that it's necessarily going to run really hard tomorrow. I have no idea, but the plan implementation, and that's just exciting. So AC John has a great background image I can use with all the apes in it. Okay. Trying to think of the best way to send it to me. I guess through maybe Twitter. That's my Twitter handle. So EB says the FUD on Stock Twist has been epic. Yeah, I mean, I'm still jet lagged and whatnot. So I was pretty tired. I got up and then just went back to sleep actually. So then I woke up to seeing a lot of FUD. I actually missed the court hearing, which I've been pretty bummed about. So, I mean, it's legal for anyone to have that footage, but I mean, if they did and they wanted to get it to me, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I wouldn't watch it because that's illegal, but let's see. All right. Oh, we got Eric. All right, Eric, you ready to come on here? Sweet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, oh, sorry about that. Learning how to do this. Never done it with my cell phone over here.
Yeah, no, I'm new to this too. So we got 2 noobs here. So it makes sense.
Mr. Mittens and I are ready to rock and roll, dude. Love the show.
Thank you.
Love all you guys. So pumped.
Yeah, I was gonna get on. I told some people in the chat on. I was streaming yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just get on a little bit before the PP show." But then, like, people were freaking out about the whole Dream On Me thing. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do a short video to debunk the FUD. But then I was like, well, I might as well just make it a stream. And then people just kept going on. So I was like, all right, I guess let's just run with it. So, yeah, no, I'm pumped too.
Oh, I had to pause it in the background. I hear all this echo and whatnot. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Well, dude, I love what you guys do. I'm on board. Lots of my friends are. We got a few 100,000 shares combined. I got 55,000, low cost basis, super pumped. So excited. I haven't felt this energy in the last 3 years of GameStop, AMC, everything. So I feel really good about this. Strength and community and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for doing the show and having the courage to do it and fighting the FUD, because there's 100,000 of us out there rooting for this shit, and let's get it done. Papa Cohen, Carl, everybody, Mr. Mittens, my cat, we're all rooting for it, ride or die. So let's go. I hope this week is exciting. I hope we all get paid, make a few dollars, change our lives, give back, all this good stuff. So I'm just trying to bring some good energy, man. But I wanted to say thank you to the whole community.
Hey,
lots of us are rooting in the background, but I just wanted to take 5 minutes out of my day. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me because, like, I mean, we are a community, and we're actually making a difference. I think that even like big players, I mean, Jon Stewart was saying like the apes are going to change the world. Like Citadel is ruling the world, and he's like the apes are going to change that. So
I hope so, dude. I got good plans, just pay off my small mortgages, but I already know, say I made a few $1,000,000, fingers crossed, get rid of the debt. First thing I'm doing is volunteering my time, giving back to the community.
Yeah. Sweet. No, we were talking, in the stream yesterday, and like Tendi came on, Tendi Levy shares, and she was talking about what she wants to do, and that's the thing. I think that what brings all of us to this is that we can see potential far off. It's a little bit high risk, but it's high reward. But all of us, like we're here because this is kind of the means to our bigger dreams that we have. And I think it's cool, and I'm excited. Once this starts running, we're going to be doing PP and I and some other people. We're going to do like a 24-hour stream. We're just going to kind of take off and all around the clock because there's going to be lots of people jumping on board. Like, what's going on? Like, is it too late? Should I get in? And I don't know. It's going to be crazy, but I think we'll probably keep the stream going. Just to talk about all the big things we're going to be doing with our money. Like, because everyone's got these cool ideas to make the world a better place, and it'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I can't control much in this crazy world, but I can control my attitude and try to give back some of my time,
Yeah,
like rescuing this little guy right here, maybe
it's
help
pretty
out
cute.
animals, maybe go to school and be a mentor, just something,
Yeah,
just getting off my butt and doing something, giving back to the world because it's given me so much. But I think you guys are, holding the fort down, like allowing a lot of us who don't know how to like really read this stuff, but like we definitely see potential in it. So you guys taking the time to break it down, put the effort forth means the world to a million of us. So thank you
yeah.
so much from a small group of my friends, because all we do is, check it all day and go on Reddit and Twitter and see what you guys are posting. This whole community is amazing. So thank you to everybody.
Hey, thank you, and thanks for your vibes, man. It really helps.
That's all I can control, buddy. Hey, and I know about the jet lag feeling. I work for American, so I'm like
Oh,
no
really?
consistency, crazy hours. So it will settle down, but really appreciate it, bud. So
Sweet. Thanks.
hope 55,000 shares, around 26 cents average. Keep
Oh, that's
buying,
beautiful.
feeling good. So fingers crossed to an awesome week for all of us. See you on the
Sweet.
moon.
All right, see you, man.
Out.
See ya. That's awesome, man. I love this community. You guys are awesome. If anyone else wants to come on, bring some hype. I wasn't planning on doing a long stream, but I don't know. I'm feeling more hype now. Kind of hungry, but whatever. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to hear what everyone's plans are like, and imagining the good things that are going to happen when all these people with good plans can work together that suddenly now all have lots of money. So um, there's probably gonna be a lot of animal sanctuaries, that's for sure. That could be really freaking nice. um, let's see. Now I gotta catch up with the chat. Let's see. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know why Jerry Diamond just kind of cracks me up because now I mean I have something called aphantasia, which is that it's the absence of a mind's eye as far as like just that in my thinking process I don't value pictures, right? I value internal monologue, I value a mind map, I value a lot of things, but I don't actually really care about pictures. So remembering names is pretty difficult. And it wasn't until he put, the 900% dilution that's like, oh, he was the guy that like stuck with me all 6 hours yesterday. So, you know, I respect the commitment. Um, that's that's awesome. I don't think he's Marantz because he didn't mention Apollo. So, although I don't know, maybe the Apollo one didn't go over well. Um, let's see, what else did I miss? What's my average? My average, I don't know. I just bought more and I have 3 accounts. So I I think I'm at 26 cents, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 27 cents now. And I have 184 or 185,000. I'd have to recalculate it, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped about my position. See, now I'm going backwards through the chat. Scribbles, best case, worst case, and mediocre scenarios. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's hard for me to now like think about it without RC after watching the Pulte interview. But previously, before the Pulte interview, my situation absent of RC was that it would go back to, because I did a comparison between Wayfair, which Wayfair is not profitable, right? But just use it, so, and they're still, you know, I mean, they don't have technically, if they're not profitable, they technically don't, and they're double upside down in their books, right? They have almost twice as much liabilities as they do assets. So I did a Reddit post. My Reddit one is M Jones GCMS. So if you find it, you can go back. If you want to know kind of evaluations, there's lots of ways to evaluate it, but I think the more you look at like comparable companies and whatnot, and you can kind of at least set up a sort of a range. And so comparing it to Wayfair, which was only profitable 1 out of 5 the last 5 years, and this, I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond wasn't as upside down in its financials as Wayfair is, like not even close. So so making that comparison, Bed Bath actually would be at I can't remember if it was $5 or $6. I have it in the post. And you know, Holly Etlin said it was, you know, a 6, well, with the max TSO is a $6.70 company, because if she said the total market cap was 5 billion, or if she said it was a $5 billion company. So, you know, a lot of the valuations, you can compare it, if you compare it to Big Lots, well, it's like market cap goes up and down quite a bit. And so in like kind of the medium part of Big Lots, where their market cap is, it would be, I think it came out to be like $4.50 a share. So you look at all those different numbers that kind of range, it all kind of comes to the same sort of range. And then you imagine then the shorts covering. So let's say you get a short squeeze. I mean, if you're being conservative about that and saying, okay, we'll just get like 100% of a short squeeze, or actually a lot of them go 80%. Well, if they're like, don't really squeeze that much. I've noticed that like for it to get to 100% is kind of hard, because a lot of people will sell before the 100%. So it usually ends up being 80%. So I don't know. I mean, if you look at the average of those, and then it goes up 80%, you know, worst case scenario in a short squeeze, that would be, you know, over $10, you know? So I think there's not really any reason to sell below 7, because like it's gonna squeeze higher than that. But if RC, and that's if RC is not involved, there's not really a reason to sell below 7. You'd want to catch the top above 7, so somewhere like 12 or who knows, because like you look at GNS, it was at like 70 cents or whatever, and then it ran up to 6.50. So you know that, I mean, that would put, and then it came back, right? So you would have wanted to have taken profits up there. I mean, if that's the case, that would put, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond at like $60 a share. So now that RC is involved, I mean, it just, sky's the limit, you know? I mean, it's just, I think you know, back when he bought GameStop, it was deep value, but that deep value took a while to come out, right? Like that, you know, he had to set the stage for the NFT markets and everything, and with Player. And I think Player is what's going to really be the biggest thing. I think the NFT market is an important component to the player part, because I think that's going to be a way where the players can make money is by selling NFTs, NFT skins, NFT whatever, so that you can support your favorite people, your favorite players. So laying the groundwork for that, I think, has taken a while, and that's why the share price for GameStop has been pretty flat. But I think that, I don't know, Teddy coming out, and it's kind of, I think GME and Bed Bath are both going to run at the same time. So yeah, I mean, when that comes together, I don't know. It's hard to say. I was kind of thinking a lot last night about like what kind of market cap it could get to, and I thought about I'd watched something on the history of Nikola, and how Nikola Motors or whatever, it was like just totally a scam from the beginning. Like they just didn't have anything, and it still got up to like $38 billion market cap, and I'm like, So I don't know. Yeah, so I think we'll be streaming a lot, and once we get over certain milestones and once more things get revealed, we'll have a better idea of price. But right now, the value of Bed Bath & Beyond is not 30 cents, so that's just for sure. I do think once the plan gets announced, that we could pretty quickly get over $1. Whether that immediately happens this week or whatnot. I think that'd be cool, because then we could get back on the NASDAQ and have more access, more eyes, like the ability for people to buy at that point will be a lot easier. All right, looks like we got Ping Pang. All right, I'm gonna pull you on. What's up, man?
Oh, what's going on, man?
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I on right now, or I
Yeah.
can't tell if I'm live?
Yeah, you're live.
Oh, yeah. All right, give me a second. Let me turn off YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm the guy that takes like retarded amount of notes based on the PP show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was reading through Polte's book that he recommended to us. The home that Bill Polte built.
Yeah.
On page 26, it's very interesting because actually, you guys probably don't have the book, but it is on his Twitter. So it said the difference between leaders and a manager is a leader. Fuck, I really like PP, man. This shit's nervous.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great, man.
Maybe I should start drinking too. Okay, so the difference between a leader and a manager is a leader has vision. He's not like a sergeant. No, he's willing to say, "Come on, fellas, let's take the hill." So something about that intrigued me a lot was when Bill Polte came in, and I think it was ABC that was mentioning several things. And Bill Polte said, "We're all leaders."
Yeah.
Gets to me because in this book, when he defined leaders, a leader has a vision.
Yeah.
So that means.
No, sorry, you cut out for a sec, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. I was gonna say that means most of the people in our group, we have a vision.
Yeah.
And I think that was a part of what he was saying. Yeah.
And I totally agree. Plus, we were able to see the vision of what Ryan Cohen's trying to do, right? So
yeah, exactly.
We had our own vision, but then we also are smart enough and creative enough to see a year and a half ahead of time what Ryan Cohen is trying to do, and the options that he has at his disposal. And so you know, it really is a trial by fire, like, you know, a refiner's kind of fire of, you know, do we really see the vision that he's doing? And then does it seem real to us? You know, and
Yeah,
that's why we're still here, is because it does. I really like that you pointed out. I think you might have been the one that posted about, there was another thing from the book that, the house, the Pulte book was, what did he say?
Oh, no worries. I have it here. I was just reading that on the train this morning, and I figured, I do something with my time that's fully stock related now. Yeah, it was. Give me a second here.
Oh, maybe it was on Twitter that I saw it, actually.
Yeah, it was on Twitter. Yeah.
Someone had,
If you want to go check it out, man, this streaming stuff is pretty nerve wracking. I don't know how you guys do it. Like I was in the backstage trying to hype myself up. I'm like, fuck, I got this. I gotta come on and do this. And I'm like, oh, like your heart rate goes up, and I'm like sitting here going, holy shit, like how the fuck do they keep like calm and think clearly? Like I had everything ready that I was gonna say, and then I come on, just my brain just went blank.
no, me too. And I think that one thing is that we are creative people.
Yeah,
And like in my personality theory, there's 7 different approaches to life, and we typically prefer 3 of the 7. Each person,
yeah,
that's what kind of makes our personality. And one of them is the expansive approach. And so for us, like, I think that, you know, ADHD type of, like, our mind goes off on all these tangents. It can be pretty distracting. So I relate. Like my mind will go blank, you know, while I'm talking, and that's why I'm really grateful for you and everyone else that's come on. Is that it makes it a lot easier for me to focus when there's another person, that it's more
yeah,
of a conversation instead of me just like talking at a screen, because I can look and I'm like, oh, there's 75 people here,
and
but
you're like,
like,
what? Yeah, you're like, what do I talk about? Fuck.
yeah, are all of them shills? All of them like, just, I don't know. Like I have no idea what's like going on, and then I'm like awkwardly trying to like read the chat, but like my eyes like,
Yeah, yeah. All right, okay. So I guess I'll pull it up on the Twitter thing, just so we have something to talk about, right? Because otherwise, we'll just look at each other awkwardly.
well, while you're pulling that, I'm gonna look through the chat and see.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just remember, you're a leader, right? You know, that's what Pulte said. You know, and the fact that you got up here, I mean, it shows. So that, and you're gonna have the funds to do. I mean, what kind of things do you have in mind? We'll just start with that real quick. Like, what do you want to do? When you make your money?
Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna try to get into Sun Devil's VIP list because he's supposedly making a Vegas like guest list, and I kind
Yeah.
of want to get on that. Like, drop my name in there somehow, you know.
Yeah.
Two, I probably want to donate a few bucks to animal shelters.
Yeah.
During the time of COVID, I think there was a lot of people gave up on their pets because, well, actually, sorry. During the COVID times, a lot of people spend a lot of money on their pets, and then after we're slowly coming out of COVID, a lot of people are getting rid of their pets because they all of a sudden they go back to work. You're like, oh, how do I balance, life and stuff like that? So, a lot of the pet shelters actually they're having like an overflow amount of like animals there, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time it's I don't know, I haven't really looked deep into this, but I just kind of want to help them out.
And that kind of shows is the vision, right? Is that you have the ability to see the trend over time. You're seeing the connection between COVID and
Yeah,
people getting at, like, that's actually pretty complex as far as like, and that's what brought us all together, is we are putting the pieces together and seeing this trend and be like, well, there's this niche that's not filled. You know,
yeah,
Amazon sells cheap crap, eBay sells used crap, and there isn't any. I mean, Walmart and Target sell cheap crap as well. So, you know, there isn't anyone selling online or in store quality brand stuff.
yeah.
And that's what, I keep wanting to call him Bob Ross. That's what Ross
Ross
Brown
Brown? Yeah.
said. I mean, and he was saying that as well, as like um, that there is, people want that in-store experience, and Target used to be quality and used to be kind of an experience, but now it's like, yeah, but like we want real brands that have a warranty, and I'm imagining the whole framework where you have NFTs that like are your warranty, where you have an NFT that's like matched to the serial number of your item, and you can, when you sell it, the warranty goes with it, and the company is like, look, we have a 2-year warranty or whatever, whoever
Yeah.
owns it, we don't even care, we're gonna stand behind this item. And because I think this consumer era where people build crap that just is going to break, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think and technology is getting to a point where, I mean, computers, I remember when the first like iCore processors came out, and it's like they still worked, pretty well. I mean, you could still use a DDR3 computer for, all the basic stuff. And now they're on DDR5 RAM. So I think that like they see that this era of just this consumption and this like kind of planned obsolescence just isn't really sustainable on, a global scale. That we need to start actually getting rid of the planned obsolescence and have quality things that last, something that you're willing to actually take to get repaired when it breaks, instead of just throw it away.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
you
Sorry,
know
quick question.
yeah.
What's DDR? I know it as Dance Dance Revolution, but I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that's not it.
it's a type of memory. So like your computer has like a hard drive which stores all your data, and then it has like data, like all that the memory that it has like ready to go, that it quickly accesses, is called the RAM.
Oh,
And
similar to RAM. Okay. Okay.
yeah, well, it is RAM. It's just it's a type of RAM technology. So
Damn.
yeah.
Oh, so I was thinking, that just got me thinking. Everything starts flowing. Um, I think does Ryan Cohen have a lot of shares in Apple?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about the new Vision Pro? So like,
Yes. So I think we
sorry,
actually talked about this on the stream last night. I'm not like
yeah.
suggesting anyone try and go through it because it's 6.5 hours.
Okay.
But we just kept
Yeah.
rolling with it. I don't know. But I kind of imagine an experience where basically, say you go to Bed Bath and Beyond, or whatever, or just Beyond, or
Yeah.
you go to the Teddy store, that you could, because a lot of times, so there's like obstacles. So you have a consumer that wants something, but then they don't
Yeah.
have the money. And so it's like Bed Bath and Beyond's original kind of way that they were making money was they kind of bypass that by, it's like, oh, well, you have a special time in your life. You're either going to college, you're getting married, you're having a baby, and we can make a registry for you. And so you can
Okay. Yeah.
register what you want, and then people can give you those gifts. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I imagine that, like, say you were going to go to college, say you're having a baby or whatnot, that you're like, hey, this is my registry date. Like, and you would walk through the store with your, Apple, Vision Pro or whatever it's called. And literally other people could join through VR with you. So like you're literally walking around the store with all these like people with you, like all these avatars.
Okay.
And so your aunt is there, your grandma's there, and like they're literally walking around the store, and they could go over and they could like pick up something and be like, hey, like, I think you'd like this, I'd like to get it for you. And then the person would be like, yeah, and then they just one click and boom, it just starts shipping to your house.
Wait, would the item, like, let's say we're in the store, would the item be like you pick it up in your avatar, and it would be like the actual item that you can kind of see? You won't be
um
able to interact with it, obviously, but
I
for
think it
example,
could be both. I think that you
yeah,
could do it without the store, with the store. I think that there'd be kind of a benefit to the store, is like you could actually try it on or whatever. Like I think that it would be kind of an experience. So
yeah.
something that people would travel maybe a distance to even do it, like, because it would be worth it. Um, and so you could have customer service there, like, hey, I have a question, and then like either chat GPT avatar person comes in to like answer your questions about it, or heck, you could even have like a real person that comes in, you know, via avatar to like, you know, a sales person to talk about the product. I mean, there's like a lot of ways that could happen, but I mean, imagine like people would want it more than just a VR experience, that like actually being in the store. And but since it'd be like kind of this AR, you know, experience, you could see the other people in the store. Like I just think that'd be super trippy and super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think go ahead.
I was gonna say, what a great time to be alive if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Just no, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Kings couldn't even think of all the stuff that we're having in access now, right? I'm just trying to put myself into perspective. Just like imagine, just even like 200 years ago, you can be like top dog billionaire back in those days, and now we can look ahead and be like, you know, now we can access a whole entire store in the comfort of our living room.
Yeah.
Just from this Vision Pro. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I mean, it's true. And I think that's something else Ryan Cohen does. Like part of his Teddy dream is to have toys that are education toys.
Yeah.
And so I think that like that's another thing is that supporting education is, in my opinion, really important, because kind of like we all go to school and we don't learn very much important stuff. Like, I mean, it's like just like, oh, here's how you write an essay. You're never going to write an essay. You know, it's like, they're not like, no, how do you write a resume, or how do you write like a Reddit post or something? I mean, like, that's how I even got on here was, you know, when I came late to the whole Bed Bath & Beyond scene. For me, I just saw that.
Me too.
Yeah. When did you come in?
I came in I think June or August of last year.
It's not very late.
Yeah, and then there was a run up, and I was at work. I'm like, holy fuck, ran around, and then I just held it because I was like, what if it went to $50?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then it just went down. I'm like, fuck. And then I was like, and then I had like the whole thing of like just averaging down, right? I'm like trying to buy the dip. I'm like, and it's still fucking dipping. Like 2 months later, I'm like, fuck, it's still dipping, bro. Like, what the fuck?
And then you run out of money when it gets to 4 cents, and then it's like, gosh, dang it.
No, I kept on buying all the way down to like fucking 8 cents. Like I was at work, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, if this thing actually somehow makes it, I'll be fucking laughing. Yeah. But you know, if it doesn't make it, I'll still be in the same place. Like I'll still be working.
And people, I mean, you get people like Ross Brown, right? He said that was exactly what he did too, right? He wrote 30. You know, he said his son sold, right? You know, I think anyone who's new in this play, it doesn't matter because we're an OTC, but like just future reference, if you are up quite a bit, you know, cover your shares with some splits just in case, you know, some insurance, but to lock in those gains. But I mean, that's like what you did was the same thing that Ross Brown did, you know, and he's like, he gets to 7 cents, just screw it, just buys a couple $100,000 worth. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Like cheap lotto tickets, man. Holy fuck, at 5 cents, goddamn.
Yeah. I luckily I got in, you know, right after the SuGov interview. And then I doubled down pretty hard at 7 cents. I kind of all the way down to 7 cents. I just kept because like it made sense in the context of our interview. It's like, oh, we're doing a restructuring, and then they announced bankruptcy, and I was like, oh, well, that makes even more sense. They're like very serious about this restructuring. Like they want to just hurry and get like a clean slate. So I was like, all right, yeah, boom, and I just bought the rest of my money, and it, So
nice. So I did have a question. You said we're hoping that it goes back to NASDAQ.
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, that's just there's like some restrictions for NASDAQ. Like there's two kind of soft restrictions. One is it has to be above $1 per share, and the other has to be above 50 million market cap. The hard restrictions, you know, because as you have a time period, and even if you don't meet in the time period, you still can just like file a plan saying, here's my plan. and then they can approve the plan. So then the other one is a Chapter 11. That's like an automatically you get delisted as soon as they enter into Chapter 11. But similar to once you say that you have a plan by being non-compliant with the $1 rule, and that can be approved. I think that their restructuring plan can also be approved by the NASDAQ as saying like, okay, like that will, if your plan works, then we'll relist you. So my guess is that say this week or next week when we get over $1, the market cap's already over 50 million, so that's fine. That we could just be relisted, because I think that Teddy, they want Teddy to be a public company, and Ross Brown was saying, like obviously the reverse merger is the way to do it. So,
okay, I was just thinking, well, two things with the timeline. One was, is it advantageous for us to go back onto the NASDAQ because of, well, first we experienced like the fuckery of the dark pool, right?
Mm-hmm. So the dark pool only works because if the price keeps going down, like, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like the whole idea is it's like payment for order flow. It's like, okay, like if I have, like, so I actually did a post and I compared, like if you look at how many FTDs Apple has compared to how many Bed Bath & Beyond has compared to, I actually compared also to Blue Apron. It's like they hardly ever do failures to deliver with Apple. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's not all in their interest they're not going to make any money by paying 35 days later. But if you know that a company's going down and you want to pay 35 days later, you're basically shorting, like you get to short it. And it was like, oh, it was just an accident that I didn't have the shares available. No, they had the shares available. They easily could have bought it. They just didn't want to. Okay. So they're strategic FTDs. Like that's the problem is that the algorithms know when to do a strategic FTD and when not to. And I don't know what all goes into that algorithm, but basically I think that's why Ryan Cohen listed as one of the assets the short interest when he wrote the letter to the Bed Bath & Beyond board. Is I think that with the algorithms, the way it works, that they basically have a kill button. Yeah. And that's why they feel so confident, doing swaps on them as well, is that like once they press that kill button, like they're pretty sure it's just going to kill it. And so they're going to make money doing failures to deliver all the way down until it goes to zero. And so it's like, because we had some of the short interest went away at one point when we were on the OTC, it actually got kind of low, but then it like came back, and it's like, well, who's trying to short this at 30 cents?
Like 20 cents. Yeah. 20, 30
or 20 cents,
yeah.
right? Like that's insane. Like the risk
that's
to
ballsy,
reward,
man. That's real ballsy.
But I think it's because they don't have a choice. They went all in. Like it's either they double down or they're destroyed. But like, so for them to put out FUD and then try and like back the FUD up with a bunch of like dumping bunch of extra shares on the market, that's their only choice. They can't pull out. They're in a nosedive. They cannot pull out. And Ryan Cohen saw that algorithm was triggered, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get you guys, like, because he knew that once they started that they couldn't pull out, and that all they could do was increase, like dig their hole deeper. And so but he knew also that it would take a big legal team and a lot to make sure that he did it successfully. But yeah.
Okay, so another question was, this was a long time ago. ABC mentioned something about the ISDA, like the International Standard Derivative like Association or something, that like their swaps are coming up in August. Is that I don't know if that's a thing or not, or if you
we'll have to ask ABC
okay
in later in the PP show.
I'm
not
my bad time.
No, it's all good. I have like I've been learning a lot. I mean, I learned a lot about this. Like I've only been doing stocks really for like 2 years. And so I've been learning a lot over the last 2 years, but there's a lot going on. That's why they can mess with like so much in the background. There's, it's just because there's so much corruption is because like it's really complicated. They want to muddy the water so that they can, get away with things. And I mean, for a long time, the general public didn't know what happened. I mean, like even I brought this up in the stream last night, but if you look at what happened to First Republic Bank, right?
Okay.
They muddied the water. They're like, oh, it's an emergency. Banks are failing. And then it's like, oh, and then JP Morgan got what they wanted, right? Like there was there's a deposit like restriction. You can't, there's a law that says that no bank can hold more than 10% of the deposits of, the country or whatever. And they were right at 10%. And what do you know? We have to come in and save this banking crisis. And we're going to now accidentally go over this 10% deposits rule. Not to mention that it was like $150 billion. And then not only that, but they got insurance. They're like, okay, we'll take all these assets, but we want insurance that if any of them go bad, that you guys pay for them. It's like, what does that even mean that you're taking it if literally the government is the one who's like actually, has to pay insurance on it? Like, why not? Why wouldn't the government just pay insurance to First Republic Bank if that's what they're ultimately doing? Because that's all they would really need is the insurance, right? So it was just crazy that JP Morgan just got away with murder with the First Republic Bank, and the shareholders still haven't been made whole over the whole thing. So I think that the idea of that there's all these loopholes and they can muddy the water and they can just get away with murder is the way they do it. But there's people that they know that there's a lot to gain. I mean, that's like, I don't know exactly what brought OK Bet to the scene, but he's the person that literally that's his job, is to find out what's going on in the muddy waters. And so if that's his job, and then suddenly he comes on, he's like, yeah, I have $1 million worth of Bed Bath and GME. And he's like, think about why I'm here and what I do. Wink, wink. It's like, huh. So I mean, I think that they got caught with their pants down, and they really thought they could destroy this company, and that they're doing everything they can to hold the price down, but they're not going to be able to.
That's
OK Bet he's like, I don't even care anything about the company. All I know is that there's one side that's trying to kill this and they went all in, and the other side that knows that they try to do that and they're going to stop them and they're going to make them pay for it. And I'm in. And so like, it's like interesting to talk to him. He's like, I really don't care anything about Teddy. I don't care anything about the stores.
Just trying to get paid, bro.
Yeah. And so it's it's pretty. So I mean, there's lots of, and I think that having the intrinsic value and having Teddy, and I literally do see the vision of how Teddy could easily take on Amazon. I don't think Amazon's going to go away. I mean, one guy was saying, oh, well, if you believe that, we should short Amazon. I was like, no, I'm not saying short Amazon.
Bad idea, man. Bad idea.
I mean, even I think that Wayfair might go away, but I don't know when. And so I'm not going to waste money on puts on it. But I mean, I'd want to find out better exactly what time it was going to go away. And I don't really care to put in the time because one, I've got enough shares of Bed Bath that and I think this is going to moon really quickly. I don't need to be doing a bunch of DD on other stuff. Like, I don't even know like how many stocks I want to, whether I'll even care to like invest in the stock market after this, just because like I'm not going to need to financially.
I think I'm gonna end up being one of those guys that degens into more plays. I'm gonna lose half my money and go, fuck, okay, let's
just cover. So my one advice is like, there should be a thesis that has certain catalyst dates. And that way, you know that you can buy insurance for those dates. And I think if people do that, then they won't lose out hard. I mean, I learned that the hard way. I feel like Joker, where he's like, you want to know where I got these scars? And it's like,
For sure. That's actually something that got me thinking. So I was thinking like every what, like Friday, prior to the NASDAQ, or when we are still on the NASDAQ, we had these crazy gamma ramps. Yeah. I'm starting to think that all these crazy gamma ramps were hedges. My opinion, not financial advice, and don't take it from a construction guy. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that the gamma ramps were all hedges against in case it squeezed,
Yeah.
right? Because they kept on dropping the stock, and even when they were dropping it every couple bit of what was it called, every couple months, there was like some sort of news that come out, and then we're like, oh shit, it might squeeze, right?
Yeah.
But I just thought the gamma ramp were actually also hedge funds just hedging against their shorts.
I think that's also why, OTC it was better, is just because it got rid of
Yeah,
because they could just buy a lot of puts. They could, there's ways that they could. I think that it's like, even though that was a tool for us to make a lot of money, it
yeah,
kind of also made it harder, I think, because it gave power to us, but more power to the hedge funds. So, and so I think that's good that, um, I think it's good that, we were here on the OTC, but also when we go back to the NASDAQ. But I also think that once it's clear that we're not going to go away, because Teddy's going to be just taking off. I mean, it's going to have
yeah,
exponential growth. That they're not. It's the same reason they don't do FTDs on Apple, is because it's not worth it. If the price goes flat or goes up, it's not. It's too much of a risk to make an FTD, because it's
okay,
just going to bite them. But I mean, they make think about, like, if they made a whole bunch of FTDs like back, like when it was at $8 and now it's at 30 cents. I mean, it was smart, but my guess is that they might be way too deep into it, that even the money that they made still isn't going to outweigh what they're going to lose because of that.
yeah. I think okay, Bet was mentioning there's like possibly I can't quote him word for word, but I think he said something about billions of naked shorts just because they wanted to make this go to zero. So, well, if it goes to zero, then they wouldn't have to pay it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
don't know how many naked shorts are out there, but I mean, it could be a lot. It definitely
yeah,
could be a lot.
but that means we just got more rocket fuel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Because as of right now, my understanding is that we're kind of in we're in a no man's land. Not us, but the shorts are, right? So on the bottom side, we have us degenerates who are the supporting line, right? We don't like, it doesn't matter how hard they try to drop the shares down to 20 cents. We just fucking go in and buy it. They've tried this several times already, right? That's why we're slowly going up. And then up above, like right here, it's the 50 cent options, the calls, right? Because they know if that stock price go up, then we're gonna exercise them, right? So they're kind of stuck in between a channel. And also on top of that, I would think that the whatever shorts they have, I don't even know if that's a real thing. Whoever owns I think it was like the 300 shares, is lending them out, so they're actually getting bled by interest, right?
I mean, we'll see what. I mean, I don't know if the people that have if HBC I think they have the 300 million shares, and then the other 3 million. I don't know. I don't know whether they're good actors or bad actors. I mean, I kind of think either way, it's just like
Okay.
the market cap. Like, you look at what Teddy is going to go on to do, and how quickly they will be able to do it. A lot of people that are GME people, they're like, oh, well, Teddy is going to be an everything app and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, he's going to want to start it from scratch. And it's like, right. It's like when you
A
could
lot of work.
literally take someone like Patty Wu that already has everything going right. Like, why wouldn't you want to just, I mean, if RC gets Teddy, right? Like,
Yeah.
he just says like, hey, all right, keep doing what you're doing. I like it, and he has like, I have a few clothing ideas. You want to like make these for me or whatever? Like, here's some pictures. And Patty's like, great, I'm gonna go make them. They'll be in the store pretty soon, right? Like, so like, Ryan Cohen said, he's like, Chewy almost killed me. He's like, I don't want to do that again, right? So
Yeah.
what did
Yeah.
he then do? He went into GameStop, took a company that already had, the shell was what he wanted. It had all these locations and everything. And then he's like, okay, well, it just needs this like infrastructure behind it, right? And that was one of the differences is what Matt Furlong was trying to focus on, like selling actual physical items in the GameStop stores.
Yeah.
And Ryan Cohen's like, look, GameStop is going to be this infrastructure for gaming and for NFTs and for crypto and all that stuff. Like that's what it's going to be. The GameStop locations are just, they're going to be used for other things. That's not, selling physical items is not going to be the bread and butter of this by any means. And so, I mean, I think, man, I'm like kind of skipping around, but,
It's okay.
oh yeah. So for him to buy Teddy, right? Like he
Yeah.
he has educational toys that he wants to do, and he has all these things, but I don't think he wants to manage a whole company, and he wants to build a platform for other companies.
Yeah.
He also sees value in having a baby, bye baby, because of all the other things that go with it.
Yeah.
But to be able to buy something that's already set up and all he has to do is add on the platform that he's building anyway for Teddy, just makes so much sense. And when people don't see that, it's just kind of mind boggling to me. So, yeah.
All
And
right,
then the
Michael.
marathon, you're going to take up.
Sorry.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say it was great talking to you.
Yeah.
It's chicken and rice time for me, man.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
I gotta head out. So yeah, have a good one. I'll probably be back on the show eventually.
Sounds
on
good. I
another
really
day,
appreciate
so.
you coming, man.
No problem, man. Keep going with a good fight, and have a good night, eh?
All right. See you.
All right. How do I end this thing?
Let's see.
Sorry, actually.
You're good. I'll back you up. See you, man. All right, let's catch up with the chat. I wasn't planning on man, my 1 minute stream turned into a lot more. Wow, I feel honored to have the real Morantz Rants. See, I knew. See, other people thought Jerry was Morantz. I knew it wasn't him. So I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule to do something so important as visit my stream. I hope you're doing good. I genuinely do. I'm like, you seem kind of stressed, but let's see. Wow, I am way behind on the chat. I don't. Oh man. Ligma, let's go. Evac is 2 clicks out. Hold it together. Man, I'm just kind of skipping through the chat, but it is really funny to me. Like, I don't know. I've never trolled someone so hard that I was like that committed. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of flattered, because like, I don't know, if you think I'm just like kind of a mindless child or something, right? Like, why would you hit a mindless child, and anyone that's like believing someone that doesn't know what they're talking about, like, are they really worth, I don't know. But, let's see. It might be. Justin says I should ban Jerry Diamond. I'm thinking. Oh, he's saying racist things? Let's see if he's still even in here. I didn't even know. It's just there we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be closing down. I mean, we're gonna have the PP show in a little bit. This was supposed to just be like the pre-PP show. I just got on early for anyone who wasn't here to talk about the Dream on Me part, and that people were saying there was nothing left of the company. The only part that was left, now is going to go to Dream on Me basically for free, which doesn't make sense because Bye Bye Baby is the collateral that the dip lenders have, and so they're not going to part with Bye Bye Baby until they get paid. That's how it works. So so far with the money that they've gotten from selling leases and whatnot, it doesn't even it's barely even half of what the dip loan is supposed to be. So so they're obviously not going to be parting with Bye Bye Baby. Also, Patty Wu was saying, so when she said Dream on Me, what she was saying was like she's working for Bye Bye Baby 2.0, but she can't say exactly how that's going to play out. She was just saying, she posted an article saying that Dream on Me bought the 11 leases. So it's like, well, I'm working for she says, I'm working for Bye Bye Baby 2.0, and it has something to do with these leases being bought by Dream on Me. So Dream on Me does not have the staff to run a Bye Bye Baby. They don't even have enough items on their own to fill the store. So there's just no way that they're doing that. And especially since the dip lenders are the ones who are in possession of Bye Bye Baby. Also, all the information in the dockets about if you look through what all the lawyers are getting paid for, there's a lot in there about the carve out and how that was being set up and finalized. So my yeah, I mean we'll see what it looks like. Tomorrow is going to be important because that's when they implement the plan. Right. So on the restructuring, so we got through all these steps. This is actually Kirkland and Ellis roadmap, right? So they're right here. Is the last step they have to do is what starts tomorrow, which is implement restructuring, and then they exit from Chapter 11. So the claims and resolution process, I mean, that was the huge one. That's why they were celebrating. That was the only thing where there's uncertainty in the bankruptcy process. And now that that's done, it's just to implement it. They wouldn't go all the way to here, claims resolution, have a successful claims resolution, then skip to Chapter 11 liquidation. Like that wouldn't make sense. And definitely not like a really crappy liquidation where they don't even get their money back. So, so just, I just came on to just talk about that since there was some FUD out there. So I was going to do a link. I haven't eaten dinner though. So, I will be on the PP show though. In a few hours. I did want to kind of check, see what other kind of information is out there, read some dockets and stuff. So I will be closing down, but I really appreciate everyone coming. It's been fun, and I'll catch you guys all later.